This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, May 24th, 2006, and this is episode number 104 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from mgmstudios.org. On the show today is Mike Newell of MouseWorldRadio.com. How does it feel to be introduced first 2 shows in a row, Mike?
Hey, I must be somebody special.
And flustered.
Yeah, oh God.
You just got completely screwed up. I don't know.
Well, he catches me off guard. I'm not expecting him to be called first.
Mike's always like, the first 30 seconds, I'm going to the bathroom.
Come on. Yeah, really.
I'm getting a drink. I'll be back.
The guy who lets everyone else take a 30-second break in the beginning of the show is Mike Scopa from MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
We find it delightfully unlivable here in this ghostly retreat. Every room has wall-to-wall creeps and hot and cold running chills. Shh! Listen.
And Len Testa of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World is here as well. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding, as usual.
Outstanding.
And we also have Mark Goldhaber of MousePlanet.com as well. Welcome, Mark.
Somebody poison the water hole! Sorry, I just had to do a Scopa-like thing here.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
The rest of us don't
is that
dare.
from Woody's? Is that from
Yeah.
Toy Story?
That's for Toy
Yeah.
Story.
All right.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Toy Story attraction.
Oh, shut up.
It could have been. It might have been set from the Toy Story Parade at the studios a couple of years ago.
Maybe, yeah.
Possibly.
You know, Jim Hill's working on a thing for us about all the new Pixar rides that are coming into the theme parks, and we're concentrating on the ones with new songs and stuff.
Right.
So the working title of the article is Oral Pixation. AURAL.
Yeah.
Oral Pixation. Get it? Yeah.
Heyo.
Oh well. Maybe it won't be.
Hey, Len, what do you think? Should we be doing a live show maybe next Sunday night on May 28th?
Sure. What time?
Let's see. Well, how about changing it to 8 p.m. Eastern Time? We'll go from 8 p.m. to about 10 p.m. What do you think?
I think that'll be great. Although we're still missing Illuminations at 9, but I guess I can get over it for one day.
Yeah, I just hope that Hochberg remembers to put the directions on how to listen to the show and how to call into the show. I'm going to have to give Matt an email and make sure that he puts it on the site.
Yeah, definitely. That call-in number thing worked really, really well last time.
All right, tell you what, I'll meet you live next Sunday night, May 28th, on Mouse World Radio, and we'll do a live WDW Today show. How's that?
It's a date. I mean, not a date, but you know what I mean.
Okay, honey. Night now.
God, why do we do this?
Well, it's Wednesday, which means we're answering your listener questions. So if you have a listener question, please email us at questions@wdwtoday.com.
200.
Hooray! Go ahead.
Our first email is from Mike from Westwood, New Jersey, who writes, I'm going down to Walt Disney World the first week in August. First time I've been down there. We're staying at the All-Star Movie Resort since we're on a budget. We plan on flying down there early Monday morning and hopefully arrive at Disney property between noon and 1 o'clock. We plan on visiting Animal Kingdom that day since I've heard you mentioned it's the quickest park to view.
Strike 2!
The Antiscopa.
My question is, do you think we have enough time to view the park entirely by the time it closes at 7 o'clock that day?
Probably
Also,
Oh my God, I know what the answer is for you guys already. Oh, Mike,
Also,
Mike,
do you
Mike,
think?
Mike.
Also, do you think we'll still be able to get fast passes for Kilimanjaro Safari late in the day? If not, is it worth waiting in line for? Oh, the answer to all these questions is no, no, no.
It is. That's not true.
Okay, well, let's start.
His name is really Mike?
Yeah, Mike from Westwood, New Jersey.
He really could be the Antiscopa. If you put them both in a room, they would just disappear. They would just combine into, like a particle and an antiparticle.
He's like from the Bizarro world, you know?
Bizarroscope.
Bizarroscope.
He's good looking and can run fast. Oh, that hurts.
There he goes.
Oh, that was painful.
One for Len.
Anyway, the first question is: if he arrives on Disney property between noon and 1 o'clock, can he do Animal Kingdom by 7?
Yeah, he could do the highlights. I mean, what is he got to see? He's got to see safaris, Everest.
The river.
I'm thinking.
Fast Pass is gone. Fast Pass is going to be
Fast
gone.
Passes are going to be gone. But remember what Brian's tip was from the that after 3:30 or so, everyone clears out of the park. So assuming he can do a couple of live shows, like definitely see Festival of Lion King.
Yeah, the last hour or two is going to be the money hour, so to speak. That's when he's got to like really take advantage of the low crowds, because by then most people have filed out of the park.
Yeah.
So he could really take advantage of that. Although going in August, August isn't. Depends on first week in
First
August.
week of August, though, and he's starting to slow down.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as he's not going on an extra Magic Hour day.
That's the only thing I guess that he needs to keep in mind then.
Yeah.
we
But if you
are-
start with a stage show or two.
If the fast passes for Safari are gone, is it worth waiting in line for?
Yeah, it's still the park's number 2 attraction. Come on.
I like the Safari. I got no problem with it. I just don't think there's anything else to do besides that.
I think you need to qualify that answer with, well, how long is too long to wait?
30.
Yeah, I would say.
Exactly.
I'd wait 30 minutes for it.
Yeah, I would too.
And the thing is, if you wait more than 30, you're better off just going to see the other animal exhibits throughout the park, because there's going to be less of a wait for those.
Or you could just go to a regular zoo and see some things.
No, because the Animal Kingdom's not a zoo, remember that?
All right.
Not a zoo.
Not a zoo.
All right.
I'm
not for
staying
you.
out of it. I'm staying out of this because I like Animal Kingdom.
I like the Animal
So
Kingdom
do
too. It's, you know,
And
talking to a bunch of
my,
haters
my,
on it.
my family can easily spend the whole day there, so yeah, we sometimes spend more than a day there. So I will let you guys crash it, and I will be
Out of respect for guests on this show, we'll refrain from responding.
Speak for yourself there, Hotchberg.
Our next email comes from Jeremy of. Oh man, this is a hard one, but he gave me a pronunciation, so thank you for that. Never mind. His name is Jeremy from Paynesville, Ohio, who writes, "I enjoy your podcast. They are very, very informative and easy to download for those of us who still have to deal with the dial-up connection. My family made our first trip to Walt Disney World in 2005. Our 4- and 7-year-old daughters at the time had the times of their lives meeting their favorite characters and taking it to non-thrill rides. We are planning to return to Walt Disney World in June 2007. My question is, are there any seats in the theaters that don't have 3D effects like water spraying to the seats or vibrating or moving seats for kids or parents who want to see the show without lasting effects of lifetime mental trauma that can only be
for therapy.
Yeah, that can only be cured with thousands of dollars in therapy."
It's
Which
a
show?
lottery.
Which show is he talking about?
He's
talking.
I think he's talking about the
Tough to Be
the
Bug.
general sort of 3D
Yeah.
films.
It's a lottery because you don't know which seats are going to be working or not working on any given
Right.
day.
Well, but can he has to
theoretically
sit-
all seats have got the effects.
Even
But,
the handicap seats.
That's what I was thinking.
The rear end, yeah.
I think they still have the sprays and whatever coming at you. It's just that it doesn't have the in-seat effects.
Well, Muppet Vision is negligible unless bubbles bother you. That's the only real effect there. Fozzie does spray the crowd, but
If you sit in the far back or far front, I don't think it's. I mean, the easiest thing is just ask a cast member. I don't want to pay for therapy for my kids. I've
Well,
already-
the other thing you can do is, I'm trying to think, the effects I think are housed in the back of the armrest in front of you. So if you take something and put it on top of that, it should cover all the spritzing. Is that right?
Could happen.
I think what they're looking for is a solution where they can sit, not have to move or worry about ducking underneath. Like they don't want to have like air raid syndrome going, where they have to is it the time to duck underneath or jump? Or,
It's actually a very good question.
Definitely ask a
I think
cast
that,
member when you get there.
I think that there are coming at you moments and everything.
Mike?
Questions come right at you, or they just reach moments.
Scoby, do you have anything to add?
Well, actually, this is a good question, Matt, because when I was down there a few weeks ago, I asked that same question, and apparently all the 3D shows are going to have an orange side and a green side, just like Mission Space. So
Really?
you go into the green side, and your seat will not have the spray and all that stuff.
That's what we waited for.
Very nice, Scopa. Thanks, Scopa, for really made the show right there. Our next question is actually for Len. It's from Steve Holloway, who writes, Steve Holloway from St. Louis, going to stay at Pop Century at the end of the month. We should really start banning emails that actually refer to Pop Century as Pop Century and Scopa Towers.
What?
My question is for Len. When looking at your website, touringplans.com, for our dates, some of the parks you give as the best day to visit are also an extra magic hour day. It's been my experience that those parks are overcrowded by noon, and it is best to avoid these parks at least afternoon. Could you please explain why you think that it's best, even though that it's an extra magic hour day, to visit the park? You have data that supports an extra magic hour park as being the best?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Steve. I think the dates that were mentioned that Steve is referring to are, I think most Mondays we recommend the Disney MGM Studios, even though it's got typically got evening extra magic hours on Mondays. And the reason for that is that our research indicates that people don't really follow the extra magic hour schedule for the studios that early in the week. Typically, they're going to the Magic Kingdom is more popular on Mondays. Epcot's more popular on Mondays, and the Animal Kingdom is more popular on Mondays. So even with the evening extra magic hour there, they still don't get the kind of crowds that you would expect, say, from the Magic Kingdom or from other parks. So all in all, it's not a bad deal. Especially if you go early in the morning. If you're there like at 9 a.m., the people who are going to come later on in the day for evening extra magic hours aren't going to affect you. You'll get through all of the major attractions before any of these people get to the park.
Great. Our next question comes from Chris, St. Chris of Browns Mill, New Jersey.
Chris.
Chris wants to know, he's got a trip planned for December 6th through 13th at Caribbean Beach, 2 adjoining rooms for my family of 5, 3 adults and 2 kids, aged 8 and 10, 8 days with a Magic Year White park hoppers and the meal plan, no rental car. One of us is doing the Living Seas dive quest for the second time. I wonder if you have any special tips for enjoying Walt Disney World at this time of the year, the December 6th through 13th, other than please don't run in the queue areas.
Well,
the Christmas decorations will be up in Epcot. They're fabulous.
Yeah.
Yep, the
Candlelight Processional, Mickey's Very Merry if you can get tickets for that. Come see us at Mouse Fest. The list goes on.
The Osborne Lights at the studios. I mean, to just take advantage of the low crowds and the great Christmas decorations. I think that's the best tip that I think we can give them.
Holidays around the world in Epcot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of. I think Epcot's decorated really, really well. I really like Epcot a lot. The thing that amazed me with the studios was I sat an hour before Osborne started last year, and I sat on like the last park bench you can get to before you walk into the Lights Motor Action Stunt Show. Mm-hmm. And from there, I was already in the back of the park. I didn't have to wait in line for to see the Osborne lights. So when they flipped them on, I was right there, and then I just walked back towards the front of the park. It was like a salmon swimming upstream, but it was way faster than doing anything than waiting in line.
You probably had a few minutes to yourself down there.
It was quiet. Yeah, it was really nice actually. I tried to nap, I couldn't. I don't know why. Usually I can sleep anywhere. Anyway.
Our next email is from Keith Fischetti of New York, who writes, I have a quick question about the Pop Century Resort. My wife and I stayed there back in October of 2004, and we loved it so much that we were thinking about going back in late November this year. Do you know if the legendary years, 1900s to 1940s section is open, or when it might be opening and reservations can be made for it?
It is not open. Yeah, it's a long wait. I don't even know if they've even given a date. We know that they are going to be working on it, and we do know that there will be family suites, but we have not heard anything. At least I haven't heard anything regarding any year that they're expecting to even start it. So I don't know, Mark, have you heard anything?
I haven't heard a date, but I did hear that it's expected that it's going to be all family suites.
Right.
Great.
Still a rumor because they haven't started building it yet, but that's what I've been hearing.
2,800 rooms, maybe 1,400 suites or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it was scheduled to be, I believe, 2,880 rooms. If they do the 2 rooms to 1 room conversion on all of them, it would be 1,440 family suites.
Our next email is from Lee Onish of San Diego, California. Writes, great show. I'm a multi-visitor to Walt Disney World and have used the unofficial guide every time I went. His question, though, is I am planning on really just going for broke and getting everything inclusive plus premium hotel. My question is, what hotel of all the hotels, price is not an issue, and if money weren't an object, would you stay at in the parks that should not be missed?
If money's not an issue.
What if money's not an issue?
Money's not an issue.
Yeah.
Best hotel, I guess. That's what he's really. I mean, he wants to splurge, go nuts. I guess maybe concierge level at whichever, if there is such. I don't know.
It all depends on the person. I mean,
Yeah.
for some people, the Grand Floridian, the very poshness of the resort is what they really like. For other people, the warmth and exoticness if that's a word, of the Polynesian does it.
Yeah.
The Yacht and Beach Club for some people is
Location, yeah.
I hesitate to say, but Yacht and Beach Club was Michael Eisner's favorite resort to stay at. He didn't even stay at the Grand Floridian. So, I mean, it all depends on what is special to you. I mean, what I would choose and what Mike would choose and Len and Matt and Mike is quite possibly very different from what Lee would think is the best. I mean, it all depends on what environment really is what he would find most enjoyable.
Well, that's a good point. And our last question, quickly, is from Kaylee at Minnow Air Force Base in North Dakota. Who writes, my husband and I are going to Walt Disney World in September and are in a bit of a quandary about where to stay. He is in the military, so Shades of Green is an option, but really,
Shades of Green.
But we really loved Port Orleans Riverside last April.
Shades of Green. Stay at Shades of Green.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
without a doubt.
regardless,
question.
doesn't matter.
I mean, you're not going to beat the rate. It's this. The rooms are like the size of Disney Deluxes. The amenities are fantastic. It's one of the highest rated resorts on our reader report card every year. I mean, the only thing that people complain about occasionally is the transportation. It's worthwhile. I mean, that's a small trade-off. I mean, especially versus Port Orleans.
Just don't stay there if you're a 5-star general, because you're going to be
Yeah,
charged
right.
like $5,000 a night.
That's true. The rate is based on what your grade is, but still, I mean, definitely, I would go with.
Just for the buffet, I'd go there.
Heck, I mean, get 2 rooms and I'll pay for 1. We're trying to stay there, and I've emailed the manager, explained who I am and everything, and they just won't let us stay in. So
Just go down to your enlistment office, Len.
exactly, yeah.
Sign up.
3 years later, we'll have a review.
I can see it now. Honey, I'll be at Shades of Green, then I'm heading over to Iraq.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I don't think the Army would want me right now. Not in the shape I'm in. But
Would you be Bill Murray or Harold Ramis?
Yeah.
that's the greatest movie of all time. At one point, I had most of the dialogue memorized from the movie Stripes.
Yeah, I probably still could do most of it.
The best.
Well, that's it for us today. This has been episode number 104 of Walt Disney World Today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Mark Goldhaber, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.